What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. One area that I think a lot of preppers kind of overlook is communications or commo. They don't think about that as much as they do things like food storage, water, firearms, ammunition, things like that. And it's easy to see why, because it's easy to get caught up in those things because they're extremely important. However, communications is also important. When a disaster strikes, most people think they're going to rely on their cell phone, and you may, but more than likely, if it's a major disaster, especially a long-term disaster, that cell phone is going to go down. Plus, it can be shut off by the authorities, and you're out of communication. So, having a way to communicate with your family, with your neighbors, with your friends is definitely recommended. Now, you're not going to get, a two-way handheld radio like this that's going to talk 40 or 50 miles. Let me advertise that on these little packs of radios at Walmart. You see these little family radios and GMRS radios at Walmart. They'll say 30 or 40 miles, and that is false advertising in my opinion, because it's not going to happen. If you had perfect line of sight, perfect weather, perfect everything, completely level ground, then you might be able to talk a few miles. However, 30 or 40 miles with those little radios, it's not going to happen. It's just not realistic, so don't fall into that hype and believe that. Realistically, you're going to be able to talk, depending on your terrain and where you are, probably a half a mile to maybe 10 miles, and that's stretching it. 10 miles is. You can get GMRS radios that goes up to 50 watts. If you had like in your truck and had a good antenna, you can talk a good long ways, especially if you use repeaters and things, but that gets complicated. And I like keeping things simple. Simple to me is better because it's less I have to learn. So I like radios that are simple to operate. So take that into account. Simple is good, and realistically, your range is going to range from about a half a mile to maybe 10 miles, like in the desert or something like that. Here, I can get on, depending on where I'm at here, because there's so many hills, so many trees and things like that, so many barriers, I can get, with these radios here, about 3 miles, typically here. Sometimes this last night's a little bit more, but these are the Ocean radio, and there's different models of this. This is the GK805G Wuxon or Ocean GMRS radio. These things work great. This antenna, I added this to it myself to give it a little more range, and the antenna definitely helps. I can tell the difference because I talked with the original antenna about 4 miles, and it was going in and out. It was static and hard to understand. However, when I put this antenna on this radio, this is a 5-watt GMRS radio, max 5 watts. The signal from the same place that I was at before with the different antenna was a lot better. It wasn't cutting out, and it's a lot more clear and easy to understand. As you can see, it's very simple to operate. You can turn it on.
Channel mode
16. And choose the channel I leave it on is 16 because it gives the full 5-watt power output. You can change the channels here.
1 5 1 6 1 7 1 6.
It has 22 channels. You can change the channels here also, up and down.
1 7 1 6.
The menu here, it's got a charging base to charge this thing up, a good clip to put it on your belt, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you press to talk, let off to listen. I mean, it's idiot simple. Anyone can use this radio and operate this radio. And they make some GMRS radios that are complicated. Lots of buttons, lots of different things you can do, but you don't need it in my opinion. At least I don't, and I don't think most preppers do either. These are absolutely excellent, especially with these extended antennas. Now, when it comes to GMRS radios, like I said, they make bunches of different models, different makes, and Redivus is one of the big names making these radios. Of course, they're made in China, like everything else is made in China. These, I had high hopes for these because they are tough. They're well made, you can tell by the way they look, and they feel well made. However, the range on these absolutely sucked. The same day I was testing these Ocean radios for distance, I tested these also, and whereas like I said with these I got about 4 miles best I can tell from where I was at, about 4 mile in this mountainous area here with all these trees. Granted, I was going uphill, and the person I was talking to was kind of downhill, so I was kind of uphill and they were downhill, so we kind of had a line of sight. However, lots of trees and buildings and things were in the way also, but it talked right through that and had a good signal for about 3.5 to 4 miles. These right here, same day when I was testing these, I went out at about a half a mile as far as it would reach, about a half of a mile, and I was extremely disappointed in these, and I can't recommend these whatsoever. And this is the Redivus NR30. Definitely not recommend it, in my opinion. You won't be happy with these. They'll feel tough, they'll feel strong, but they just low power apparently. I don't know what it was. Maybe this is just a dud set or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But man, these things, there's supposed to be more wattage output than these, which are 5 watts. I think these are supposed to be 10 watts. And the 5 watt out-talk these, I mean, by a great margin. These, in my opinion, need to be taken and thrown into the trash and not messed with. Like I said, maybe I got a bad batch. If you've had these same type radios, you've had better luck out of these than I have, then let me know in the comments below. But man, I was extremely disappointed when I tried these out. And these right here might be some of the best radios for preppers, especially preppers in the same family or the same group. These are low powered actually, so you're not going to get a lot of range out of these, but you can get, depending on the terrain and things, you know, 1 to 2 miles out of these type radios, maybe further than that, like in real flat desert or something. But these are the GMRS radios, and these are the same thing that you use with the Dakota alert system. So if you have that, like the driveway alert system, that's a Dakota alert. You can also use these too with the base station in the house. These, I think, will be great because not everyone has GMRS radios. You know, if you're using these, and someone is using, say, the little packs from Walmart, which is what most people will have, they can tune into these signals, these GMRS signals. However, with these, most people aren't going to have these GMRS systems. So you'll have more secure. No two-way communication on radios like this is completely secure. However, with these, I think you'll be more secure in your communications than you will be with the GMRS radios. And these are, again, I think these are about $80 a piece now. They were when I bought these, and I've had these for years. And they actually work great. They have 5 channels on these. And overall, you know, I think these are definitely something to look into if you are a prepper looking for short-range communications with your family and your group. That would be more private than, you know, a GMRS radio, a ham radio, or CB radio. Now guys, before I close the video out, I know some of you are going to be asking about this on the back of my truck. What is this? Where did it come from? And what's it called? What's it for? And this is a Hook Road Overland rack. I got this about 3 or 4 days ago and put this together myself. It took about 2.5, maybe 3 hours to put this together my own self. It said to put it together, you know, on the ground, put it all together and lift it up. However, I did it 1 second at a time and put it all together. Very simple to put together. I think it looks good. It's well-made metal. And you can mount, you know, different accessories on this to carry different things like gas cans, water jugs, and things like that, tools and things. You can use this if you're camping to put a tarp over top of it, like a good shelter. So it's handy for a lot of overland type things. And I think it's, if you have a truck, like a Toyota Tacoma, different Jeeps and things, they pretty much make these for any different make and model of truck you can come up with, which you probably have. So this is definitely recommend it if you want something like this and need something like this. However, not everyone's going to need, you know, an overland rack. I think it's good for preppers because you can haul a lot of stuff on this. If you need to go camping and things, hunting and things, it can be used as a shelter. You can put, like I said, different accessories on this to mount tools, to mount, you know, shovels and things, to mount water containers, extra gasoline containers and things, and still have the inside of your bed to haul more things. Like I said, you can put a tarp over this, strap that down, have an excellent shelter right in your truck bed. And this costed about, I think it's $500 something for the rack, and it was here in just a couple of days when I ordered that. I mean, it was really quick shipping. I ordered and I waited, I think, like 3 days, and bam, it was here. And I had it put together the next day and on my truck. And so far, you know, I like it. I'll take the camera off here and we'll look at it a little bit closer around the truck. See up to the top. Guys, I think this is a good rack. If you're looking for a way to improve your truck, improve the looks of your truck and the functionality, then you can look into this. I'll put a link just box below to this and these radios here. Also, I want to talk about these knives. These are Econo, I think was pronounced, knives, handmade knives. And they are good knives. They're really good knives. However, they're handmade in Japan. They're good knives, but they're expensive. They're about $240 something for the set of knives. And they come in a nice box and everything here, as you can see. And there are the knives. However, like I said, they are good quality knives. In my opinion, they're not worth the price. Like I said, I think it's $249 for these knives. And there's a set of 4 of these. You can see they're good kitchen knives. However, I don't think that you should pay that much money for a set of kitchen knives, especially a set of 4. Don't matter how good they actually are, unless you're a chef or something like that, just a home kitchen, you can get by a whole lot cheaper than these. These, like I said, are handmade, they're nice knives and everything. However, I don't think they're worth the price they're asking for these. You can do a lot better by getting something like, old hickory set of 4 for like $40 or $50 versus $200. And save yourself a couple $100 and go buy some extra storage foods, or put the extra $100 into buying you a set of Ocean radios. Well, guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, found it useful, give it a big thumbs up. Again, if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Be sure to leave a comment below. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to get more videos like this and news type videos and skills type videos. Pretty much I cover everything on this channel to deal with prepping, survival, homesteading. Again, thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next video, hopefully.